Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It turns out secretary did mean, thank you guys, somebody who was entrusted with secrets. And somehow along the way it modified to be someone who becomes an assistant to somebody else. But yeah, that was the original meaning of the word. It was like a notary or somebody, a court official who was appointed with, who was entrusted with secrets and yada, yada, yada. So there you go. Hillary Clinton, this non-secretary of state, the woman who exposed our secrets. But there's another person out there who was helping Hillary, and we're going to talk more about Hillary later in the broadcast because there's a couple things that I want to get into. But I want to talk about former FBI Director James Comey. And there was an article that, and the title of it was, "Did Comey Break the Law by Exonerating Clinton?" Now, y'all remember the speech where Comey set everything up, and then he declared that Clinton had not done anything. We could not, put intent on her, something that we didn't really need in order to put her in prison. And now we see Clinton, she's pretty bold. I mean, honestly, I don't know how you would feel, but if I had the sketchy past of Hillary Clinton, I would be out of the spotlight. It floors me how much she's in the spotlight, and it seems like she's kind of poking the tiger. But, she's getting away with it. Look at Lois Lerner. Lois Lerner got exonerated by Donald Trump's Justice Department. Sessions, I don't know, just going to let her go, whatever. It was a long time ago. We won. The Tea Party seems like everybody's all right. So, okay. And I'm going, what are you talking about, man? Let me ask you this. And I'm talking to Jeff Sessions. When are we going to get a scalp? When do we get a head to put on the wall? Because we're waiting on that. We elected Donald Trump to get to the bottom. And by the way, you don't have to drain the entire swamp before bodies start to come up. You get what I'm saying? We want a scalp. We are hunters, and we want our den with a big old rhino or a donkey on the wall. And I don't think Trump's team is getting this. Don't misunderstand me. I love the other things that he's doing, but you can multitask. How about we get a special counsel looking into Hillary Clinton and Comey and Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama? We could have 5 special counsels easily in this whole mess. But they said the White House announced that they accused James Comey of giving false testimony and suggested the JD, the Justice Department, look at whether he perjured himself. Of course he perjured himself. And Republican lawmakers stepped up pressure on the former FBI director to clarify apparent discrepancies in his public statements to Congress. It's funny, I've listened to the Comey testimony quite a bit, and it cracks me up because it's always got this circular thing where I'm not quite understanding what you were saying. Well, what I meant to say there was, it's always got this sort of out. If you listen to him testify, he's a slick dude. Anyway, they say this: since the director's firing, I like that, we've learned new information about his conduct that only provided further justification for that firing. This is Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying this, citing false testimony in her examples. Asked to clarify whether she thought Comey perjured himself or at least misled Congress, Sanders told Fox News' John Roberts, "I think that's something probably for the DOJ to look into, not me. I'm not an attorney." Well, I'm not an attorney either. But I know a liar when I see one, and I know a guy, when Comey came in, all the agents agreed that it would be a stupid move. I know it was different terminology, but he essentially said, you'd be stupid to prosecute this. And there were prosecutors going, well, then call me stupid because I would have prosecuted it. I mean, laymen, we were out here going, what are you talking about? There were example after example. There was example after example of people who did a lot less than any of the things that Clinton did who are serving time. And it just goes to show the justice system is so crooked when it comes to that. And it's an elite system where blacks, I'll just use this as an example, where black folks are like, man, there's brothers in prison doing time for stuff that white folks, got a lot less time or didn't go to prison for. Well, from a class perspective, there are political elitists who've done things that would have landed the ordinary person, an ordinary military person or a bureaucrat, or certainly an ordinary tax-paying citizen in prison. And we're watching Hillary Clinton, Uma Abedin, and Lynn, whatever the lady's name, Cheryl Mills, and various others of the Clinton administration and Clinton's satellites, as they like to use that term, walk free. And Comey gave them immunity, in fact. So, I hope that Sessions like I said, I want a head. I want a head on the wall. I want to walk into my den, my metaphorical Republican conservative Tea Party den, and have my Tea Party cocktail friends over. And I want to say everybody to go, Kevin, where'd you get the new head? And I'm going to go, well, it was a gift from the Republicans. Yeah. And we're going to sit around and talk about it. And maybe it'll be a whole series of them. Yeah, well, here's what we're thinking. We've been on a couple of hunts and we've got a couple of heads, but we've got space for 3 more. Because I want to see Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Uma Abedin, Comey, and Loretta Lynch for starters. And we could go further. There's a lot of people in this whole cover-up. And so we could have a whole series of these things. And we should. It is ridiculous that we watch Comey testify, then lie, get fired because he's feigning all this nonsense, and write a book and get a multi-million-dollar deal for a book after he's convinced me and probably convinced many of you that he's a flat-out criminal. It's criminal that this happens. Anyway, Graham, who I have no respect for, but in this particular case, he says this doesn't add up, and I smell a rat here. There's some good political commentary. Well, it doesn't add up, and I smell a rat here. That's the way Lindsey Graham would say it. Representative John Ratcliffe of Texas added to those calls, saying Comey absolutely should be brought back to testify. Now, Comey, in his defense, he's done a good job of saying, you know what? I'm going to just lay low and stay out of the media and see what I can do. What about Susan Rice? She came back for something, didn't she? She's another scoundrel. Just look at the number of people in Barack Obama's cabinet that come on, you'd have to be brain dead to not go, come on, at least somebody there has done something wrong. VA, IRS, Mexican gun running, and on. Benghazi, all these cover-ups. Come on. And we can't get anybody? I lose faith in politics when we're in control and we can't get anything. Imagine, folks, if we don't have the House or the Senate or the presidency, what we can get accomplished.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.